Kenyans, what would you do if one morning armed men stormed your land, claiming it's theirs and saying it was sold to someone in power? Well, that's exactly what's unfolding in Ang'ata Barrikoi, deep in Transmara South, Narok County. A land row has turned deadly. And now, President William Ruto's name is right in the middle of it. Let's break it down. Over 6,800 acres in the Moyoi adjudication section. That's the land at the heart of this dispute. For years, both the Maasai and Kipsigis communities have claimed ownership of this fertile piece of land. At one point, it seemed like there was progress, an agreement to divide part of the land, 1,500 acres to each community, with the remaining 3,000 acres not in question. But the peace didn't last. What triggered the recent bloodshed? It's reported that government surveyors were sent to mark land for the Kipsigis community. But here's the twist. The boundaries they started marking overlapped with plots that already had legal title deeds. That's when things got ugly. Holders of these titles fought back. They weren't about to let anyone, including the government, redraw their land without explanation. Clashes erupted. At least 5 people have lost their lives. Several others were injured. And homes burnt. Families displaced. It's a humanitarian crisis in the making. And now, the big headline, President William Ruto's name has surfaced. Reports suggest that some of this land may have been sold to him, though he hasn't made any public comment. But in a land so politically sensitive, even a whisper of presidential involvement can shake an entire region. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen visited the area. He condemned the killings, vowing that no one, regardless of position or power, would be spared if found guilty of inciting the violence. Strong words, but will they be matched by action? Narok Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu has stepped in too. He pledged that the county would pay funeral costs and cover hospital bills for the injured. That's some relief to grieving families, but the pain runs much deeper than medical bills. Meanwhile, leaders from both the Kipsigis and Maasai communities are now calling for calm. Some, like Kilgoris MP Julius Sankuli, have demanded that all land adjudication be halted immediately until peace returns and investigations are complete. Let's be honest, this isn't just a local land issue anymore. It's a national story because it hits at the heart of 2 things Kenya has long struggled with: land and power. When land ownership becomes blurred with politics, emotions explode. When ordinary Kenyans feel ignored, while powerful names hover in the background, it creates a storm, one that can burn villages and bury truth. This tragedy in Ang'ata Barrikoi didn't need to happen. It could have been stopped with transparency, proper communication, and inclusive decision-making. But instead, it was met with bullets and fire. And here's my take. We can't afford to keep solving land disputes with blood. Not in 2025. Not when we say we are a democratic, constitutional nation. If President Ruto's name is involved, directly or indirectly, the truth must come out and the law must be followed, regardless of who owns what. Because at the end of the day, it's not about titles or power. It's about people, families, lives lost, futures stolen. This is Sauti Mzalendo, and we'll keep speaking the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Sauti Mzalendo, the voice of the people.